Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Nikita Antoine and today we'll be doing a message for the sign of Libra. As always, Libra, all of the messages are timeless, so when it finds you and resonates, then it is yours at the time in which you find it. Libra, I've done your spread today with my triple stack deck. It's the Ethereal Visions, the Dreamscape Oracle, and the Luna Tarot, all by Matt Hughes and all being presented in your spread. Libra, it seems like you have a message, a message that is meant for specific people in your life, or maybe not even necessarily in your life, but you're coming to them because you have a message for them. And there's a need for it to be relayed. And your approach seems to be one that is softer, perhaps so that they could be more receptive to you. They'll be more comfortable to listening to your message. However, it does kind of look like maybe it kind of looks like they might be ignoring you. So let's see how this unfolds. All right, Libra, at the bottom of the deck, gorgeous, we have the Ten of Cups. Look, and there you are with your message. It's beautiful. All right, so at the bottom of the deck with the Ten of Cups, this Ten of Cups comes through with a unconventional form of happiness. It does have a liveliness to it. There's a lot of life and gusto and vigor in this Ten of Cups. Very, very fulfilling, very saturated with love energy, incredibly saturated. And it's not traditional. It's not something that is traditionally seen as love, if you will, but it is very much saturated with the energy of love. So that's the supporting element here, the underlying energy here, the one that may not necessarily be seen. Perhaps actually this is the underlining energy of your message, which is an unconventional form of love that is very rich and saturated. All right, so let's see on the split. On the split, we have the Harpy Eagle. All right, this is gorgeous because the Harpy Eagle is a significant messenger. It's a messenger energy. It specifically talks about messages that are coming from the element of air, perhaps even spirit, to the element of water, which means that it's a message that is coming from spirit and then reaching either the consciousness or the psyche of whoever is meant to be receiving this message. So, very interesting. I'm kind of getting that maybe you, Libra, because you are showing up here as this Page of Swords, you have the air energy. It almost looks like perhaps maybe you're a medium of some sort who is receiving messages from spirit and needing to relay them to other people. Almost like it feels like a cold call, something like that. Like the people that you're delivering the message to, you don't know them. You just know that you're being led to them, and you know that you need to deliver a message, whatever that message may be. And what's interesting is that we're coming from the air and into the cups. So whatever the message is, it has an underlining energy of a rich, saturated love. It's a lot of love. A lot of it is love. And it looks as though you're trying to reach their consciousness, their psyche. Okay, we'll get into that in a little second. Let's look at the overall energy for Libra. The overall energy is the Empress. This is you, Libra. This is you, Libra, with the message that you're holding. It's like you are embodying the message. Whatever, it could even be something like a download or something like that. And so you're incorporating that message within your body and allowing it to move you through the environment and seek out those that need this message. There's something about this message that is a that's very interesting. I was going to say it's a blessing in disguise. I was going to initially say just a blessing, but it's coming through as a blessing in disguise. I have this flower up here for me in my own lexicon with my guides. It talks about a blessing that is reaching you from spirit. Sorry, my cats are going haywire. Yeah, so it's a message from spirit that is reaching you and is a blessing. So Libra, you're embodying this message. You are embodying this. It's coming through as an unconventional form of love that is highly saturated. It's very thick. It's really lively and vibrant. But even in this Empress, you can see that the color is almost understated. It's something that, well, it's in disguise. It's in disguise. So the ones that you are trying to reach, it looks as though perhaps maybe they can't see it themselves. And that might be why you're coming in so gently. Or if you are embodying this vivacious love energy, it's like you're having to tone it down so that this message can come across or that it can be received. Because if you were to go in with a really big energy, what I'm hearing is that it might spook off. It might spook off the people that you're trying to receive. So it's like coming in really gently and soft is your initial approach. So here you are, presented as the Page of Swords. You are you are holding the sword of truth. And this sword is acting as the message from spirit, from the divine. And what I'm seeing here is that as you continuously hold up this sword, it's acting as as a receptacle. It's a very interesting word. It's acting as a receptacle that is receiving the, I'm seeing like lightning striking this sword. You know, when you're in a storm and you put up a metal rod or something like that, and lightning strikes that sword. It's like that's what I'm picturing. So what I'm seeing is that you actually, with your sword of truth, you're standing in your true and authentic nature. You're acting actually as the receptacle to the word, the word of spirit, the message of spirit, the voice even of spirit. And I often see this Page of Swords. I often imagine that there are a trail of people down here off card that are following her. And because she's so further up or further or headed to advancement, there are people that are following. There are people that are following her. But here it's like, even though we might imagine that there are people that are following this Page of Swords, following you, Libra, they're not pictured. So it has something to do with like perhaps maybe the audience that you're delivering this message to, or the people that you find along the way that spirit tells you to deliver this message to. It's like you come in and then you leave. So you don't realize wasn't that the last Libra reading? The last Libra reading was talking about that Libra is not able to see the impact that they have, that their message has. And here it's showing up because you come in to deliver this message and then you quickly move on because, you know, she is ahead, is in advance. So it's like you're already around the corner. And when you look back, you can't see those that are following you because they haven't yet come around that corner. So what I'm seeing here is you, Libra. It's almost like you're kind of going back. You're going back. That's interesting. So perhaps you came before and now you're coming again. It's almost like you're revisiting a place twice. Twice is coming up here as well, because the ones that you're delivering this message to are presented as these two knights. And I love how this came out. We have the two knights. One is of the Luna and one is of the Ethereal Vision. It's kind of an interesting title that they both have. One is of the moon and one is of vision. So these are the two that you're delivering your message to. Both of them have see how both of their gazes, their crowns are lit up. They both have they both have a metaphysical focus. They're focused in a metaphysical way. This looks like, especially with them presenting as the Knight of Pentacles, this looks like these are two people, perhaps at work. They're working away. they're doing the tasks that need to be done in order to complete their work. And then you come in. It's like you're coming in twice. So maybe the first time around they were not able to receive your message, but it's like they did receive something of your message, because it's in their psyche, it's in their mind. Maybe not necessarily in their consciousness, but at least in their subconsciousness. It's what I'm seeing is this orb around their head. It's shifting. So as if it was behind them, it's now starting to shift forward. So when you pass through the second time, it's as if your energy is shifting that message that you initially relayed forward from their subconscious mind and into their consciousness. It's almost like as if you came in and you planted a seed. It was very soft and gentle, kind of unassuming, and you planted that little seed. And maybe the first time that you came around, you see how, these are the two that are following this one, following you, Libra. It's like maybe you perceived them as perhaps ignoring you or turning away, or maybe even that they were so fixated on their work that they didn't receive the message that you needed to relay. But what I'm seeing here is that they actually did. It just needed some time to like blossom into their vision, into their, almost like into their future focus. Okay, their future focus. So this message, just playing with the cards and seeing how it's kind of playing out. This message here has something to do, you see on their collars, they have collars, and there's a symbol here. This is it's the Par of Fortune symbol in astrology, which talks about the utmost success typically in a career or in your health, something along those lines. Is it has to do with where you would find the most success in a field, in a field. They're standing in a field. So a particular field. So maybe this message of yours has to do with where these two, who seem to be at work and have a metaphysical focus, where these two would be able to find the most success in a particular field or even branch of focus. And it's in their collar as well. It makes me think of like white collar or blue collar. It's an industry. It's like as if you are coming in and relaying a message about what industry they belong in. It's very interesting. Because there's something with these two that it's as if it's written all over them, yet they can't see what it is for themselves. Kind of like if you are in a situation, you can't necessarily see the situation until you move out of it. It's very similar for them, but it has to do with their career or where they would be finding the most success. You know, perhaps maybe even something that is unconventional. So they're holding both of these two shields. And these shields, it's like the shield is carrying the Ace of Pentacles, but it's also acting as a way to prevent that Ace of Pentacles to reaching them. You know, even in that last Scorpio reading, there was an Ace of Pentacles that was trying to come in for Scorpio, but they were wrapped up in feeling like they were locked or tied to the land, tied to their particular field. And because they were defending this field or this industry, it was preventing their true, that's what you're coming in. You're coming in with this truth. It's preventing their true field or true, maybe even like their true career from presenting itself. But it's not that the career doesn't want to present itself, it's that they're kind of in a defensive, it's kind of coming through as a little bit of a defensive state, which is why you're initially coming in incredibly soft. Because you don't, it's almost like you don't want to trigger the defenses. What's fascinating here is that, you know, when we look at both of these, this one here, their shield is illuminated. This one, not so much. So what it's talking about is that they're both in different they're both in different stages. They're both receiving the same message, but they might be in different stages of progression in how that message has developed within them. So there's something about this one here that has already, they know that there's something else out there for them, which is really interesting because, you know, you're kind of passing through, delivering that message, and they're gazing off into the distance. In the distance, like that Scorpio reading, gazing off into the distance. So they are looking for something else, something on the horizon, in the distance. This one knows that there's something there. This one, maybe not so much. Maybe not so much yet. They haven't yet come into a realization. So there is a difference in progression for both of them. And that might mean that this message that comes through is going to either touch them differently, or it's like you'll have an individual conversation with this one and then an individual conversation with this one that would help these two progress. It's very interesting because you're coming through as incredibly unassuming. You know, even you're presenting as a page and they're presenting as knights. So you wouldn't think that this pivotal of a message would be coming from someone that is perhaps younger than you or younger than them. Maybe you are younger than them. There's something here where you feel as though, because perhaps maybe they're not really taking you seriously, you know, you did come in very understated. It's like they're ignoring you. That's how, or at least that's how you're feeling. but this message needs to be relayed. And so what I'm seeing here is that you actually are shifting into this magician energy, and you're switching from your sword into this wand here. And what that's talking about is that although the message was coming through perhaps in a very calm way, they're ignoring it. They're kind of bypassing you, not really seeing the importance of this message. You're amping it up. You're becoming incredibly more passionate about this message, and that's what the magician is referring to here. You see how he's filled up the frame? It's like you are coming in even closer, and you're speaking to them like face to face. Your eyes are locking with them so that they have no choice other than to see what this message is. It's like how I was referring before. If you've already gone around the bend and you're looking back to see if they're following you, right? And then you turn back around to make sure that they're behind you. And then when you actually get back around that corner, you see that they're going the other direction. And you're coming up on them very fast with a lot of passion and relaying this message with, I mean, it's kind of intense. It's definitely intense. It's more intense than how you were showing up initially. You've upped the ante. And the purpose for this is because you're trying to get them to follow you. It's almost like coaxing them, I'm seeing with this hand here. You're trying to get them to follow you through this. I often see this magician as a portal energy. And, you know, the magician is coming up through a portal to kind of pull something through and into a new place. And so that's what you're doing. It's like you're already ahead or advanced or in some type of position that is more progressive, perhaps maybe even this unconventional approach. It's full of love. It's it's gorgeous. It's very blissful. And so you're trying to, it's like you're trying to grab them by their collar and yank them through. You're yanking them by their bar of fortune. It's very interesting. And in order to do that, it's like you have to come in very passionately and almost like it's as if you're like pulling them through. So, Libra, if you found that any of this resonated for you, I will be pulling some more cards, and you can find the link for that in the description box. Otherwise, you can also visit my website if you wanted to get a personal reading done, a more one-on-one, very private message that would be delivered directly to you. And yeah, other than that, I will see you in the extended.